Thank you so much, Deputy Director of the Media Center, Your Excellency Leonard Zulu, the UN Resident Coordinator, staff at the Media Center, the media fraternity, and those who are watching us online. I take this opportunity to, first of all, apologize I didn't keep time, but here we are. I'm here to make a statement on the 11th session of the Africa Regional Forum on Sustainable Development about a conference we are supposed to have next week, actually beginning this weekend. So it is with great honor and deep sense of national pride that I'm here to brief you about this activity, as Uganda prepares to host one of the continent's most purposeful gathering on sustainable development, the 11th session of the African Regional Forum, and which is expected to be 6th to 11th of April this month at the Commonwealth Conventional Center, and that is Munyonyo, under the theme Driving Job Creation and Economic Growth through Sustainable, Inclusive, Science and Evidence-Based Solution for the 2030 Agenda and Agenda 2063. The African Regional Forum on Sustainable Development is an annual intergovernmental and multi-sector holder platform mandated by the United Nations General Assembly in its resolutions 67/290, 70/1, and resolution 70/299. The African Regional Forum undertakes integrated follow-up and review of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and Agenda 2063, the Africa we want of the African Union. The 11th Forum is jointly organized by the Government of Uganda and the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA, with support from the African Union Commission, the African Development Bank, the United Nations Systems in Uganda and Africa, civil society organization, and the private sector. The overall objective of the 11th session of the African Regional Forum on Sustainable Development is to conduct a regional follow-up and review of progress made, facilitate peer learning, and advance sustainable, inclusive, science, evidence-based, and data-driven solutions and actions to dramatically increase economic growth, job creation, and the pace and scale-up implementation of SDGs and goals for Africa Agenda, that is African Union 2063. With only 5 years left to 2030, this forum comes at a critical moment for Uganda and our African neighbors. The 11th session of the African Regional Forum on Sustainable Development presents an opportunity to reset our pace, recalibrate our strategies, reaffirm our commitment to both the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the African Union Agenda of 2063. This landmark event will bring together over 2,000 high-level delegates, including the heads of state and government, former heads of state and government, the UN Deputy Secretary General, Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA, Prime Ministers and Ministers, Members of Parliament, heads of the United Nations agencies in Uganda, government officials, civil society organization, and private sector, business leaders, academia, youth, media, among others. The pre-events will take place on the 6th to 8th of April Side events will take place from the 7th to 11th of April, and exhibitors and exhibitions will also be present and doing their work from the 9th to 11th of April. The main segment will take place from the 9th to 11th of April and will include the opening session, which will be officiated by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, a presidential dialogue featuring the heads of state and governments, high-level panel discussions, plenary roundtable panels, and parallel meetings. Among others, the main outcome document will be the Kampala Declaration. Outcome documents will set out the consensus priorities, policy options, recommendations of African countries aimed at driving economic growth and job creation, accelerating the implementation of the two agendas. These outcome documents will serve as the region's collective input to the 2025 meeting of the High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development and Second World Summit on Social Development. Uganda's selection to host the 11th session of this forum is a powerful affirmation of the progress we have made and continue to make in embedding the principles of sustainability, inclusion, and innovation across the development frameworks. It is also a vote of confidence in our ability to provide political leadership and logistical coordination for regional multilateral processes that shape Africa's development trajectory. We are hosting it as a platform for solutions, solidarity, and actions. Finally, to the media, your role is central. This forum is not only for the policymakers, but also all African citizens. It must reach and resonate with every Ugandan and every African citizen. We count on your platforms to carry forward the conversations that begin in the conference halls but must get to everybody. I thank the government of Uganda, the National Organizing Committee, the Economic Commission of Africa, United Nations in Uganda, led by His Excellency Leonard Zulu, and this forum sponsors for the remarkable groundwork they have laid. Uganda is ready to host the 11th session of the African Regional Forum on Sustainable Development that starts in 3 days from today. I thank you for God and my country.
To welcome our brothers, our sisters, our children who are fleeing conflict and violence in affected neighboring countries, and they are coming here to Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, that is an island of peace in the region. And they are being welcomed by the communities where they arrive, who are providing, as Honorable Minister said, land for them to become self-reliant, grow crops, start a livelihood, be able to feed themselves, their children, during this trying time that they are temporarily here in Uganda in safety. And most of them, when we talk to them, they say that as soon as it is safe to go back home, they are more than willing to do that. But for the time being, they are enjoying the peace and tranquility, the safety and security that Uganda offers. So this is very important for all of us as human beings on this planet, and especially as Africans, that we are able to provide this safety and security for people who are most vulnerable. And I must say that they are also contributing not only to providing food for their families, but also to the development of their communities. For example, I was recently in Arua, where I met a refugee and his wife and the family, and they told me a story that when they arrived, they had nothing. But the community gave them 3 acres of land where they were able to start growing rice. Then last year, they were able to improve from the 3 acres to 7 acres. And this year, they are now using 10 acres to grow rice and sell on the open market and send their children to school. 2 girls to continue with their education at a boarding school, and the other 2 children, the boys, to also continue with their education. So this is what Uganda is doing. And I would like to give an example of this, point to this example, and say that it is a public good that Uganda is doing for the world. And indeed, the world has not abandoned Uganda. They have rallied around Uganda to support Uganda to carry out this duty for humanity. And just last year, they were able to increase the support to Uganda by more than 12%. However, the numbers are also increasing of new arrivals. Just this year, we've received close to 50,000 people since January. I think it's now approaching 60,000, and they have just arrived and they are being provided food and security and other services. So I take note of that question, but I also want to underline that this is something that we are very proud that Uganda is doing, and we will continue to support the people and government of Uganda to provide international protection and assistance to the more than 1.8 million refugees that are in the country. Now, with regard to financial gaps and how we are supporting as the UN system that